But let's one thing that is, there's a lot of good things coming of this, Rob, and the protests have served their purpose. And I'm not saying they're done, but or that they should be done. But they're getting some things done. The next step just has to be an agenda for some legislation and things like that. But they've gotten things accomplished. You mentioned before, Aunt Jemima's gone, Uncle Ben's gone. I think you're a little disgruntled, maybe, but
I'm just saying,
they're
but
gone.
Chris, we grew up with those things. I'm just saying.
There's
think
no
about
question.
that. Did you ever think that was
no?
I
never thought anything negative about Aunt Jemima.
You
know what I mean? We didn't know.
When she did have the scarf on before they dolled her up a little bit. You remember
she
had
looked
the
good
scarf.
once they got her. She got a perm.
They gave,
they gave her
lipstick, earrings. Right. They did. They dolled her up.
Dolled her up. All right, but we one of the good things to come of this, Rob, is finally after decades. I think 4 decades that Native Americans have been protesting the name of the Washington football team. Rob. There were columnists around the country that wouldn't write the name, and that's been going on for a long time.
And organizations that wouldn't print it, Chris.
Yep.
Deadspin, when I was writing my column about this a few weeks ago, don't include that name. They won't publish it.
There you go.
And there are other organizations that just won't use it. And rightfully so.
And so they announced today, Dan Schneider announced today that the name is going to be changed
before this season, which is unbelievable, Chris. The season's a couple months away.
Right. Here's what I say, Rob, and they haven't released what the new name is going to be. They don't know it apparently at this point. I don't think they know it. But what I've read is that Dan Schneider, the owner, and Ron Rivera, the coach, are the ones figuring it out. Now I have to believe, Rob, that they have some type of committee that they're talking about this thing with. But I would say this. It has been nearly 100 years of this football team being named a derogatory racial slur for Native Americans. So I feel like they need the team in Washington needs to go to Native American leaders. Get a group. I know people are going to have differences of opinion, right? You got within the black community, people don't agree on everything. Within the white community, they don't agree on everything. And the Native American community is no different. So there are some people that probably were fine with the name as it was and blah, blah. But there was
some who spoke out and said that they were cool with it.
Right.
But they didn't speak for all Native Americans. That was their opinion.
But this is why we tend to have leaders, right? To spokespeople. So I try to get a representative group, or groups, I should say, of Native American leaders and talk to them about it. And here's what I'll say, Rob. I think they should get first dibs. If they say to them, is there a positive Native American name that we could use that you would feel proud about, that you guys would get behind and say, we support this. This makes us proud. And here's why I say it. Because, again, for nearly 100 years, we've called the team a racial slur, slandering the Native Americans, unknowingly for most of us, but still slandering the Native Americans. And that's why I think they should get the right to rename the team if they like. If they don't, if they're like, look, we don't want any mascots, any nicknames, none of it. We just want you to get rid of that one. Then fine, go with the Rockets or the Comets or whatever you want to call them. But I think the Native Americans should get first dibs if they want it.
Now here's where me and you break. I disagree with that. I think taking it away, the slur name is more than enough, and they don't have to be involved in the naming. They don't own the team. And let's be fair. I'm going to be fair to Daniel Snyder. That team's name has been there way longer than 1999, Chris, when he bought the team. So it ain't like it was.
So why is it? So I'm not blaming him.
I'm just
even
saying,
though he withheld it, but I'm just saying, why shouldn't the Native American? We've slandered them for a century.
Okay, but it's
can't
his
we
team.
Reward them if they want it?
It's his team, and he should be able to name it whatever he wants. So I'm going to stand up for his rights It's his ownership. The only thing we wanted him to do was take away the racial slur. That's being done. Now it's
Why
up to
can't
him.
we go further?
Whatever his marketing he has, Chris, because the name that he picks might not be good enough as far as marketing and what they want to do in their direction. The other people who are out in the street who are just picking a name because they want to.
You
they
don't
don't
have
know how
to
it
just
works
take
out.
any name.
I'm just saying.
If it's
I don't
something
think-
that doesn't work, I give you that. If it's a name that just not in line.
But what
with
if it's
our names?
overwhelmingly what the Native Americans
Well,
want?
you can say.
Then
you
they'll
can
say, "Oh, look, we gave him a name and he didn't pick it. We're not happy."
If the name is like I said, if it's something that just doesn't fit within American sports nicknames, then that's something else. But if it's a name, that, and they may not care, they may not want it. I'm just saying they've been slandered for a century. I would like to see them honored for it, and that's all I'm saying. You're right. He's the owner. It's his right to do what he wants with the team, and I don't want to take that right away from an owner of anything, of a business, right? They should be able to do what they want to do with their business. I'm just saying I think the right thing to do would be to honor the Native Americans after you've essentially slandered them for the better part of a century.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
I
877
can't get with it.
99 on Fox. Do you think the Native Americans should have a say in what the new nickname for the Redskins is?
All right, let's kick it off with Michael in Tulsa. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Rob. I'm a first-time caller here, long-time listener.
Appreciate you.
Guys.
Thank
Great
you, my
show.
man.
Hey, I'm from Oklahoma. I'm a Native American. I was born in an Indian hospital. First of all, I don't agree with having to change names of Redskins. I don't have any problem
Really?
with
So
the
you didn't
Redskins
mind
name.
it? Wow, okay.
Okay.
Now, did
I don't-
most of the Native Americans feel the same way, or?
Man, not really. Every Native American that I've talked to in Oklahoma, they don't have any issues with the name of the Redskins. That's not a racial slur to us.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So changing the names, I mean, that's fine if they want to change the name, but, you said making the Native Americans have first choice. I think that is a good idea, but then again, on the other side of it, we don't want to change the name to begin with on
well,
the majority
Michael,
that I've talked to.
the name is being changed, so we're there. The bottom line is, should Native Americans have a say in what the name should be? Yes or no?
I would say no.
Okay.
And the reason I say no is because I don't think it's a big deal to begin with. If they feel like they want to change their name, I think that's great. But it's not because it's a racial slur to Native Americans, in my opinion.
Maybe not,
It's in the
Michael. Maybe not to
dictionary,
you.
it says one, yeah.
Maybe not to you, but
look,
for a lot of
people
other
feel
people.
differently, right?
But don't make it
I
like
hear
it
you.
just isn't, and that's like the gospel.
It is in the dictionary. It
Yes.
says racial slur. But
Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
What's up? How y'all doing? It's Magic City Monday.
You know
What's
it's
up,
great.
man?
I
Good to
need
hear from
Rivers.
you.
I need Rivers' shoe size so I can send him some Jordans after that big win. I love River. That's my man.
Oh, yeah, you going to win that bet against Chris and get Rivers some Jordans?
He done said
Yep.
you said it now. It's
Yep.
out there.
Yes, sir. I'll give
Papa.
Rivers some. I'll give Rivers some Jordans.
If y'all betting one Super Bowl,
No,
Pat
we're
Mahomes
not
probably going
betting
to get that.
No, we're not
See,
betting that.
he's afraid of that.
No, Marty,
Marty.
he's supposed to be Jordan-esque, so he needs
terrified.
more than one.
He's
Marty,
shivering
what do
in
you
his
think about
boots.
this? Chris is saying that Native Americans should have the right or first
Have a
dibs
say.
at naming the team.
Well, I know I'm usually with Chris, but I'm with Rob on this one. Daniel Snyder owns the business. He's got to make the best choice. He's got to talk with his marketing guys. Letting the Native Americans choose something, if they want to, might be the best marketing choice. But, it's got to be up to Snyder because he's running the business, and that's what it is. And that's
And
just
it's
my
his.
opinion.
Right.
I do agree, that the
Marty.
name, it does have to be something in line with general American, sports names.
Right. Imagine if they wanted to call it the Washington Corn. Then now what? I can't market corn. Is it cream style or kernel? I don't know. Thanks, Marty. What about
I'll give you that. I'll give
right?
you that.
How about
give
that?
you
The
that.
Washington Corn, Chris.
But
Would that
I don't think
run
they
you
would
out the
call it.
box.
I don't think they would call it the corn. I don't know. Just call it a hunch.
What? All right. Ham in New Jersey, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Ham?
Yeah, what's happening, guys? I think they should contact the Native Americans and get some input from them. Turn a negative into a positive.
Yes.
Even going into, if they're trying to market this, they can even give them a little bit of proceeds from the New Jersey sales, to help their community.
Right. That would be great. Something like that would be great.
I'm not against that because Native Americans have had so much taken from them. Anything, Chris. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To help that community. Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got, Andre?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call. Listen, any name the Washington team chooses without Native American input is flat out fugazi to me.
Really?
All right. Andre's on point.
Because again, and what we need to remember is we have the silent majority. One group cannot be making all these decisions for all these other groups. Just to kind of go along with Charles Barkley said a little bit, and with Chris Broussard, we need a little bit of clarity and we need some specifics going on. But to this point,
Andre, hold on. Andre, Daniel Snyder owns the team. It is his team. And the call was to get rid of the racial slur, which he has done now. Isn't that enough? What else do you want?
No, the point is, and we had the great call to start, I believe it was Chad from Tulsa, who's a Native American, saying, listen, he himself is not personally affected. Now, I know that there are other Native Americans. Let me just conclude with this. Rob, you go on EEI in Boston, go on the show. We enjoyed. I'm calling from Massachusetts. Christian Fourier put out a tweet today saying, to this very point, and I agree with him, saying that, yes, the Red Tails would be outstanding. I would love that, okay? But we need more input from the offended group. They need to have let them take the lead on this. And they also said an EEI, which is outstanding. And I'm calling from, we have 2,000 high schools. Barnstable, I'm from Barnstable, Cape Cod. We're the Red Raiders. Now we're having a conversation. Where do we stop? Where is this conversation going to go? We just need more input from everybody, not just one angry minority.
All right.
I'll say this, Rob.
Thanks, Andre.
Look, you make some good points. It's his team. It has to be something that's marketable. How about whatever your committee, say you got a committee of 9 people, 7 people, whatever it is.
Right.
How about having a representative or 2 from the Native American community?
Now, I'm not against that, Chris. I'm not against that, but I'm just saying that they have final say.
No, it makes sense because if they do give a name that maybe
it
may be a really respectful Native American name, but yeah, it just wouldn't work with, just the sports landscape, wouldn't be as marketable. I get that, but maybe bring them to the table just for some input.
How about, Freddie in Seattle? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Freddie?
Hey, what's up, Rob and Chris?
How you?
Man?
I think the people have already spoken in terms of forcing the name change, and satisfaction should lie right there. Dan Snyder owns this organization, and if he wants to open it up to the public for suggestions, I'm in favor of that. But in terms of forcing his hand, I totally disagree. Keep up the great work, Chris and Rob.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it. What about Judith, who lives, Chris, in D.C.? She's on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Judith?
What's happening, Chris? What's happening, Rob? Love you guys. Look, Thursday, July 9th, Kevin Gover, who happens to be the director of the Smithsonian's National Museum of American Indian, and he's a citizen of the Pawnee tribe of Oklahoma, and he's based here in Washington, of course, running a museum. He says, Dear Dan Snyder, don't pick a new Native-inspired team name. Do us a favor, Mr. Snyder. Don't pick a new Native-inspired name or mascot that references our culture. Being your mascot is not an honor, nor does it honor the bravery of Native people. In fact, it would be doubling down on the way your team has mocked our history and culture, reinforced stereotypes, and promoted prejudice. It would further harm the self-esteem of American Indian young people and undermine the educational experiences of all communities. I don't think this country realizes, and that's the end of the quote, I don't think this country realizes how much is actually owed to the indigenous nations of this country. Just like they don't realize what the African American went through in slavery and then in Jim Crow. You cannot appease this away. You have to end racism, which he says in his article is a generational thing, and he hopes his He hopes his grandchildren get to see racism ended, and you have to do it by providing equal opportunity, okay, and by giving the communities that you have oppressed something to reverse the oppression. You can't do it by a name or a name tag. Let him pick something that says that he's a fighting football team, and let them prove it by going out and winning some games, and let the Native people alone. Bye.
Yes,
Thank you, Judith.
Judith, thank you so much for her insight. Oh, yeah.
Yep.